Strategy and Policy LP 4.2 Assignment, Accounting, Ray's Automotive Repair, Investigation, Findings, and Solution by Rachael Galbraith, National American University. Internal controls are essential to prevent and mitigate fraud risks in any business, but small businesses generally have a more difficult time than large corporate businesses. It is common for small businesses to lack the funds and resources available to effectively shield themselves from fraud risks. They may also have lack of sufficient number of employees to fully implement segregation of duties, resulting in the same employee being in charge of multiple aspects of the business. Because of the above issues, small businesses tend to have the highest fraud rate of any other size business. Businesses with less than 100 employees are highly susceptible to the following fraud schemes: corruption, billing fraud, check tampering, skimming, and expense reimbursement fraud. Fraud is usually identified by red flags, such as an audit investigation, credit notices, billing bookkeeping errors, financial statements not balancing, overdrawn notices, canceled checks, missing money, etc. In most cases, fraud is accidentally identified when the fraudster has gone too far, activity has been noticed, and the damage is unfixable. The motives behind fraud are generally greed, financial hardship, addiction problems, a disgruntled or spiteful employee, the intention of paying it back without being noticed, etc. Some commit fraud for the simple reason that they want or need more money. This is greed. Some commit fraud because they have a child that requires hospital care and they cannot afford their mortgage, utilities, or groceries that month. This is a financial hardship. Some commit fraud because they have a gambling or drug addiction. They are either needing money to feed their addiction or they are needing money for their everyday necessities because they have used all their money on their addiction. Some commit fraud because they feel that the business owes them. For example, they feel that their compensation isn't sufficient, they did not get a raise or promotion that they felt they were deserving of, they feel like they are treated unfairly, etc. This would be a disgruntled or a spiteful employee. The last one ties in with the financial hardship or addiction. It is common for someone who is unable to pay a bill to intend on borrowing money without being noticed and then pay it back later on. However, this generally becomes a habit, which in turn results in the detection of the activity. There are several red flags that were found at Roy's Automotive Repair during the investigation. Here's a list of them. Lack of segregation of duties. Susan does almost all of the accounting tasks except for signing the checks and taxes. Intimate relations are present in the accounting department. Susan, the bookkeeper, and Phil, the accountant, are married. The accounting IT system is unsecured. It does not require passwords or sign-ins to track user activity. Petty cash is not in a secure location. It is located in an envelope in Susan's right-hand desk drawer. Receipts are stored in shoeboxes that are stacked next to the space heater. The safe combination is available to everyone. The combination is written on a post-it note in plain sight on the wall. And there are lack of locks on doors. Only the front doorknob of the office and the garage door are secured with locks. Susan being in charge of all the accounting tasks except for signing checks and taxes is concerning because separation of duties is the #1 way to prevent internal fraud. This is not a foolproof way to prevent fraud entirely, but it reduces the risk and opportunity. Separation of duties does not seem to be existent at Roy's Automotive Repair. Intimate relationships being present in the same department are concerning because Phil not only works in the same department as Susan, but he could also be considered her supervisor in that department. This could result in bad company image, favoritism, inappropriate sharing of confidential business information, fraud that could be covered by one or the other or as a team, etc. An unsecured accounting IT system is concerning because it does not track who is using the system and what for. It is not limited to authorized personnel, so anyone inside or outside of the company could gain access while on the business computers. Petty cash being kept in an unsecured drawer is concerning because anyone could access it if given the chance. The money could be stolen, borrowed, or even unaccounted for, and there would be no way to track how it came up missing or by who. Receipts being stored in shoeboxes are not terribly concerning, however, the fact that they are stored next to the space heater is. Receipts are paper and therefore flammable. This is a fire hazard, and vital financial business information is at risk of being destroyed. The safe combination being available to anyone who sees the post-it note on the wall is concerning for the same reason that the petty cash not being secured is concerning. Having a safe with a displayed combination is like not having a safe at all. These items should only be available to authorized personnel. The lack of locking doors is concerning because this enables outsiders as well as unauthorized personnel access to all aspects of the business, including confidential information and cash that has not yet made it to the bank. A control when pertaining to internal controls is an activity, policy, or procedure used to help control the business environment with the sole purpose of detecting, reducing, and mitigating risk. Specifically, internal controls are used to safeguard assets, ensure reliability and integrity, ensure compliance, promote effective and efficient operations, promote responsibility, accomplish goals and objectives, etc. The framework of a good internal control system includes a control environment, a risk assessment, monitoring and reviewing, information and communication, and control activities. On the next slide, I will give suggestions to help improve Roy's automotive repair business functions. They should implement segregation of duties as best as possible for the amount of employees present in the business. Perhaps Roy could have the bank statements sent to his house so they cannot be tampered with or altered before he sees the true results of how the business is doing. The accounting system should be upgraded to a system that requires a username and a password where only authorized personnel have access to the system. An employee that does not work in the accounting department should be in charge of the petty cash, which should also be kept in a lockbox that only this employee and Roy know the combination to. Receipts can be stored in shoeboxes, however, they need to be stored in a safe, secure place away from heat and moisture. Perhaps file them in a filing cabinet, a closet, a file room, or anywhere that will be safe from destruction and tampering. The safe combination should be stored in a secret place that is only known by Roy and authorized personnel, as well as the combination should only be known to Roy and authorized personnel. It is suggested to change the combination periodically, as well as when an employee leaves the business or is terminated. Door codes should also be added to different rooms of the business which hold confidential and important business information where only authorized personnel and Roy know the door codes to. There should also be extra locks put on each door going in and out of the business to ensure security when the business is closed. As stated in an earlier slide, intimate relationships, especially existing in the same department and with employees or supervisors, is an extreme internal control risk. This could lead to bad company image, favoritism, inappropriate sharing of confidential business information, fraud that could be covered by one or the other or as a team, etc., like I stated earlier in the presentation. My suggestion in this situation is, if the plan is to keep the two employees working in the same department, to have them each deal with different aspects of the accounting department that do not entirely link together. Another suggestion to deal with the situation without having to hire new employees is to have them work in separate locations of the business where their contact is limited and information cannot be accessed by both of them at the same time. Roy, I hope this information has been helpful in the improvement of your business processes, as well as to get to the bottom of the accounting errors, credit issues, and checking account problems. Feel free to contact me with any questions or concerns you may have. I will be following up with you after my current auditing engagement. Sincerely, Rachael Galbraith.